I'd like to um, just touch base and add another question to this whole mix because you touched on something that really hit deeply inside of me, and I'd like to get your take on it. Where you said when the lady had said that she had actually looked, like swore she looked in that jewelry box
Right,
4 times.
right.
Do you believe the universe has a message trying to relay to you in a situation like that? And I guess I'll ask this question with giving you a real life example in my eyes. Um, I never really given too much thought to my passport, and I guess it's two things that kind of sparked this entire thing in my brain here. But we had gotten back from vacation probably 2 years ago, and I used to keep my passport, and I was very religious about it, putting it in the safety deposit box at the bank.
Hmm.
And the ever so famous I'm so busy, I've got no time, that we all have used sometime in our life. I took the passport, and I remember having it in my wife's truck because we were going camping that weekend, and we were towing our trailer down to the US from Canada here. So at the end of the weekend, it was unpacking the trailer, getting all this stuff done, and I never put it away. And to be honest with you, about 6 months went by, and I couldn't even remember where I put it. We ripped my wife's truck apart. I ripped the entire house apart. All I could think, Richard, was that down in the side of my wife's truck was, I didn't quite get it in that, the door panel that has the place to put stuff in. I didn't get it in there, and sometime during our trip, after we crossed back into Canada, I opened the door and it fell out, and I never realized it. So after the house being torn to shreds and my wife's vehicle being torn to shreds, I called Passport Canada and said, "You got to cancel my passport. I have to get a new one." Now, we were leaving for Bahamas in, I think it was a month, because out of sight, out of mind, didn't realize now we're preparing for our vacation. It's like, oh, we should probably get all the passports, put them all together, put them in the safety deposit box. So all we got to do is go to the bank, go to the safety deposit box, get the cash, get the passports all in one fell swoop. We're done. Well, now I'm on not only a time crunch, but now I can't find the passport. So now I got to cancel it and get a new passport. The funny thing is, 3 weeks in, or a week in, I had 4 days in probably by the time I had everything done. I couldn't find, because the case that held my passport also had my birth certificate.
Mm.
Now I need a birth certificate and a passport. So in this whole time, my my thought process is the universe is telling me I probably shouldn't be going away on this vacation.
Hmm.
And that was kind of one of the main things that stuck in my head. Long story short, I got my birth certificate, I got my passport, all within the 3 weeks before we left.
Hmm.
3 days before we left, I opened up my wife's glove compartment, and no joke, that black case is the first thing I see.
Hmm.
And I looked, I kind of stopped, and I thought, okay, maybe the universe isn't telling me that I shouldn't be on this vacation. Maybe the universe is telling me, smarten up and put your stuff where it's supposed to be.
Okay.
What do you take from that? Like,
I
I'd
do,
love to hear your take on it.
it's a great story. And I default to one of my favorite statements: nothing has meaning except the meaning we give it. Dan,
Yeah.
I've got people who want to come to CEO space and they don't have the money and they can't raise the money. Some of them say to me, the universe is telling me I shouldn't do this. Other people say, the universe is telling me I have to figure out how to do this. What story do we attach to anything in our life? Nothing has meaning except the meaning we give it. We assign it, and then we have ownership of it. There was a study done, I don't know how many decades ago, of bettors at a racetrack, horse racetrack. They had, I don't know how they judged it, all I know is the outcome. They assessed people's confidence that a specific horse would win. After they placed the bet, their confidence level in their horse winning went up to like 90% from 30, 40, 50, wherever it was. Why? I bet on it. It's got to win. So what meaning would you attach to that experience with finding the passport? What story do you have about it?
Well, I now as I sit here now,
Hmm.
my belief to it is the universe was saying, okay, because had I not found my passport, it would have. I'm sure I would have been able to come and go. Um, but as you know, the laws, U.S., Canada, and worldwide travel now with passports after 9/11 and everything, and all the different programs that are involved in Nexus and all these other things, it would have been very difficult. I mean,
Yeah.
I have all the document, well, especially because my birth certificate was gone as well. However, I've got every other documentation to state I'm a Canadian citizen or live in Canada. Sorry, not even a Canadian citizen because that's my passport that will state that.
Hmm.
But my end take on it was, Dan, you're an adult. You're not a teenager. Put your stuff where it belongs. You've got passports for a reason, and these are an extremely important document. I
Hmm.
look at my business licenses and my partnership agreements and my companies, and they're all in my filing cabinet, filed properly. I could, like, closing my eyes, I can pinpoint it where it is in my filing cabinet, and I know exactly where it is. When you ask where my wallet is, I know where my wallet is, my car keys, all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to, what's more important, your car keys right at the moment or a passport when you're about to leave, it's your passport. But I'm not putting any direction into these very critical documents that need to be done. That's what I took from it. Like I said, in the end, during, I took that the universe told me I shouldn't be going on this vacation.
So what I'm hearing, and by the way, just as an aside here, you,
Yes,
without keys, you couldn't get to wherever you were going. So
that's true too.
they
Yes,
both
yes,
had an import at that time. So
yes.
you change the story. We all do that. We change a story to fit. It's all situational. So at one point you had the story that I'm not supposed to go. Well, then you found the documentation, so that you went poof. Then the story superseded it because now
Yeah.
you could go. All our stories are situational. Is there one universal story? Man, if there is, I haven't a clue. Ram Dass may know that stuff. I don't know the ultimate answers to the universe, but like many of us, we're still seeking them. So,
When,
yeah.
when I mean this, what you're touching on here with change the story and it changes your belief in it. I mean, that's so profound, Richard. That's deep. That's intense. And do you think that a lot of people, like, what's your opinion on it? Do you think a lot of people move towards the negative story rather than focusing on the positive story?
Well, that's a good question. I've coached many people. It is my belief that no one has ever won an event, a competition, going into it saying, I think I'm going to lose this sucker. I would like to believe that everyone goes into it. I mean, let's look at the Olympics as presumably the ultimate competition,
Mm-hmm.
that everyone goes into it saying, I'm going to win this no matter what. Now, not everyone who approaches it with that wins, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that look, let's go back to Muhammad Ali or Cassius Clay before he changed. I'm the best there is. People thought it was ego. He was embedding a story in his mind that he was the best there was. And for a time he was, Dan, no one could beat him.
Yeah.
So I believe that we will change our story to fit our situation. Uh, in my life personally, I generally, boy, there was something on Facebook the other day. While the optimist was seeing the glass as half full and the pessimist
I heard this one.
as half empty, I drank the water.
Yes. Yeah.
You've got to take action steps. Henry Ford, I believe, is the one who was credited with saying it for the first time. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're usually right.
Yes.
So if people watching or listening to this are looking as I think I can't, for God's sakes, change it. What's it going to hurt?
What would be your first reaction to somebody if they were to say to you, or who's watching this, because everyone watching these is going to have a situation in life that they want to change. They want to do something, or else they wouldn't be where they are right now watching the videos they're watching.
Right.
So,
Right.
what would be your first and primary thing to say to anybody where if you're speaking to them, they say, "Well, I've got this problem," and you know this is the really bad part about it. What would you say to them right off the bat before anything else that's kind of that's generic in a sense that it will work with everybody? Like, would it be a step outside, look at it again? You know what I mean?
The first thing I say is congratulations. Congratulations. Would you rather have no problems in life or be alive? The only people that I know who have no problems aren't breathing anymore. They're 6 feet down. The more challenges you have, the more diversity you can have, the more uncertainty you can tolerate in your life, the higher the potential for growth. When you have these uncertainties, you can grow beyond them. A challenge, oh my God, how many times has been said, it's just another learning opportunity, whether we want to embrace some learning opportunities we don't necessarily want. It's just an opportunity to step beyond where you are. From a universal perspective, you can focus, and again, it's classic, I didn't make this up. You can focus on the problem or focus on the solution. When you focus on the problem, that gets anchored in you. You focus on the solution, and all of a sudden, things happen. You can see it. You know, with again, a classic, where the attention goes, the energy goes. What do you want to focus on? I remember we're taking, my God, driver's ed. It's amazing how things get triggered. And the instructor said, we had it in high school back then, the average red light was 50 seconds. What are you going to gain by running it? The potential for getting killed, the potential for getting a ticket. So you want to look at that red light as an obstacle or an opportunity to sit and wait and move forward at a more opportune time. Do I have problems? We all have problems. Again, you know, that's what life is. It's a challenge. What are you going to do about it? I just came back from San Diego on Monday, and the plane was delayed for 2 hours. Now, that's not fun because it meant landing at 1:30 in Albuquerque, and then that's not true, landing at midnight in Albuquerque, and then an hour and a half drive up to Taos. Well, the people I was with, we made the best of it. We're all on our computers, you know, doing work. And when we got home the next day, Tuesday, we found out that there were torrential, we have what are called monsoons here. And there's a pass you go through between Albuquerque and Santa Fe. And it's one lane in either direction next to the Rio Grande Gorge River. Okay. And there were rock slides. And there was a huge, probably 4-foot boulder in the middle of the road. Now, you know, the way we live, we wouldn't have been there. The point is, the road was closed. The road was closed. Well, they had to get not graders, but backhoe in there to get rid of that boulder. If we had taken, there are 3 reasons an aircraft won't fly, by the way. One is crew impairment. One is weather. One is mechanical failure. I don't want to be in an airplane for any of those problems.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
So they said, okay, the plane's delayed, mechanical failure. Okay, thank you. Thank you for knowing it.
Yeah. Thank you for not telling me while we're already up in the air at 30,000 feet. Yeah. Yes.
So, is it a problem or is it an experience? How do you want to view the world?
You view your situation right there. You can view it as, even if the plane wasn't delayed, you still probably wouldn't have got home at any different of a time because the boulder was in your way anyways.
And the only way around that is about 20 to 30 minutes around. This is not like New York where you just go 1 block over and go up the next street. No, we would have had to take a circuitous route that would have added mountain roads and 20 to 30 minutes. So we all laughed at it when we looked at that on Tuesday. So, you know, again, do you want to look at that airplane being delayed as a problem? We took it as an opportunity to get some work done sitting in an airport. What the hell else are you going to do? Yeah, sitting in your novel, okay, whatever it is.
And you know what? If you can get the work done, you probably would have got home and did the work anyway. So now when you get home, you can just go to bed.
Precisely.